You're watching the SCAC Spring Media Days. Today we're taking a look at the Trinity University baseball program. The Tigers, of course, coming off a 33-9 season a year ago, 14-4 in SCAC play, and the number 2 seed heading into the SCAC tournament. We were joined by head coach Tim Scannell, along with junior outfielder Rafe Chaumette. And Coach, Rafe, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Coach, heading into your 21st season at the head of the Tiger baseball program there in San Antonio, what do you love about this time of the year with the excitement and the challenge of a new season? Is this something that still in your 21st season you get excited about?
Yeah, for sure. I think, it's the challenge of pulling a team together, new faces. We lost a lot last year. Not really sure how or why we have the preseason ranking we have. I think the talent could be there in the end, but baseball's one up the middle, and we lose our catcher, shortstop, center fielder, first baseman, number 1 pitcher, and essentially MLB sign guy. We've got a ton of work to do, but it's the work that makes it exciting. Whenever you have a chance to develop these guys, push them, continually raise the bar, that's what I think coaching, that's when it's really fun.
Ray, for you now as an upperclassman in this program, as a junior, you've been a huge part of this lineup really since day one, since you stepped onto campus. But how are things different for you this year as an upperclassman? Probably asked to shoulder that leadership role and take a little bit more responsibility in terms of that aspect of the team. Is that something you're excited about and something you've thought about going into this year?
Yeah, I've had the blessing of getting to play since I've gotten here, and I've learned a lot. I've been through it all. The ups and downs. Baseball is not always a consistent path, and so I know what it's like and I know what it takes. And I'm excited to take on guys. We have a lot of young talent on this team, like MJ Metz, and I'm excited to teach him stuff that some of the older guys taught me when I was a younger guy trying to play. And I'm excited to help those guys develop and, hopefully take the next step in my path of baseball.
Rafe, sticking with you, last year as a sophomore, your second straight first-team all-conference performance year. You were top 5 in the league in terms of average hits, runs scored, RBI, triples, total bases. You also were an all-West region team nomination as well. An outstanding year statistically. What have you worked on through the course of the offseason, and specifically about your game that you hope to continue to improve and get stronger heading into this junior year?
Baseball is all about consistency, and me as well as every other player, consistency can always be improved. I want to be more consistent this season, in and out. Something that I haven't done is help this team win a conference championship, and that's my top goal. That's really what I want to do, and so whatever it takes, whatever I have to do that, that's my main goal.
You talk, Rafe, about that consistency when it comes to baseball. You had the opportunity to get a lot of action this summer going up to the Cape Cod League for the Katuitt Kettlers. Speak about that, that experience. What was that like for you to get, up into the Cape Cod League, obviously a very famous summer baseball league? How much was that enjoyable for you?
It was a surreal experience. You hear all about the Cape Cod League and what it's about, and for me to go experience that was something that a lot of kids dream of doing, and I had the opportunity to do it. The cool thing for me was it really showed me that I can compete with any player in this country, no matter what school they come from, no matter where we're from. It's all the same once you're over there, and it was a really cool experience for me.
Coach, you talked about losing a lot of key position players from this team a season ago and that experience being gone. Speak to sort of the recruiting class that you were able to bring in. What are the challenges that you face when you bring in a group of new freshmen or try to indulge a new group of players that are going to be a big part of this day-to-day roster that maybe weren't in the years past? What sort of challenges does that face you as a head coach?
Well, I think, in terms of the class that we have coming in, Rafe alluded to MJ Metz. We feel like we have a couple other freshmen that are going to have an opportunity to push and crack doors and get in the lineup. We definitely feel like there are a couple arms on the mound that are going to have opportunities to pitch. It's a quick turnaround to start this year off. We don't have a long build up to the season. Here we are about 10 days away or so. So the freshman arms are going to get a chance almost by fire. We're just going to have to put them in. In terms of challenges, we've never really looked at freshmen any differently than a senior. It really comes down for us is, if you have the talent level, you should expect to play. You should go out there and compete. We've never had captains at Trinity. I'm not a big upper class leadership guy. I think leaders lead, and I think freshmen, if they're good enough to hit 3-hole and play short, that's where they should play. So that's kind of how we go about our business.
Coach, when you look at this lineup, at the plate, you had a ton of success a season ago. You led the SCAC in terms of batting average, a .313 clip as a group. What is your approach as a team? What do you try and preach in terms of that plate discipline, plate philosophy that allowed your group to have success last year and hopefully continue into this year?
I think, number one, we spend a lot of time at hitting. Unfortunately, though, hitting is fickle, and it goes away the better pitching that you face. We were really disappointed with the end last year. Our bats kind of went away. It's part of baseball. It happens. All the cliches in this game really do, add up and make sense. We just, unfortunately, the bats went away. We couldn't handle things. We saw some unbelievable arms in the SCAC tournament. TLU goes on to finish runner-up in the country, in my opinion, a different Division III format, and they would have won the national championship. It was a combination of running into some great arms, but bats do tend to go away, and so you have to be able to play other styles of baseball, pitching, defense, and so on and so forth. But historically here, we do hit because we spend a ton of time on it, and it's really that simple. It's just hours put in.
Again, you're watching the SCAC Spring Media Days. Today we're taking a look at the Trinity University baseball program. We're joined by head coach Tim Scannell, along with junior outfielder Rafe Chaumette. And Rafe, I'll get back to you. This is a team that has high expectations year in and year out because of all the success that this program has had over the last number of years. You obviously get the preseason top 5 ranking at 4th in the country this year. But how did, Coach talked about it, the way that last year ended. I mean, this team was 28-2 on April 14th, and then you lose 7 of the last 11, I think, to end the season. Did that disappointment really motivate you and the rest of your teammates that were returning to go into this season with a whole new kind of emotional charge and outlook to try and have the best year forward going into this season?
Definitely. If there are any positives you can take out of something like that, it's that you recognize that baseball comes and goes. So does success, and you can't take anything for granted. Whether you're the #1 team in the nation or you're unranked, tomorrow's not given for sure. We know that every day we need to take it day by day, work hard every day. A number 4 ranking right now doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day, and we know that every single practice we have to give our all because we saw what happened last year and can't take anything for granted.
Coach, getting back to you, you talked about the success you've had at the plate last year. Coming out of the bullpen, your arms were excellent as well. You had a team ERA of 3.18, and the thing that really stuck out to me was 9 different guys out of your pen pitched 20 or more innings. With a long season, especially in Division III college baseball, having arms that you can depend on throughout different situations in the course of a game can be so big. Is that sort of a philosophy you've looked at, being able to spread those innings out, and does that help have success throughout the course of the season as a whole staff?
Not really. For me, no. When you look at TLU's success, they had 2 phenomenal frontline arms. Their bullpen, probably got up to, 6, 7 guys. And to me, that's more the D3 formula to winning. I think sometimes when you have depth, it's always good to have. It helps you in tournament play, especially when you get into a loser's bracket. I always feel like Trinity teams can definitely fight out of a losing bracket really well. But in terms of winning and trying to go out and win, it really comes down to you got to have number 1s that can go up against other number 1s and win that game. You got to be able to pitch deep into the game. And then when you have what TLU had last year, a number 2 that's really another number 1, that's how you go win a tournament. And so we're pleased that we have some depth, but that's not really the formula behind winning.
Coach, sticking with you now, as I mentioned, entering your 21st season as the manager there of this Trinity baseball program. You've seen a lot of baseball in this conference in the SCAC. Speak to the demands of navigating through an SCAC schedule, and do you feel like this league, competitively has been as strong as it has over the last couple of years and won't be any easier going into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's frustrating, to be honest with you. I think that, we're 33-9 last year. We go 2-2 with TLU. We essentially, whoop UT Tyler at their opening tournament. We don't play well in the SCAC tournament, and that happens, and we are left home. The thing that's frustrating is that people don't realize how good this conference is. While we were having our runs to the Division III World Series, one of the years for sure, TLU just absolutely cleaned our clock. And so you talk about a Trinity, you talk about a TLU, and then nobody's talking about Centenary, who's won the league more times than Trinity or TLU in the past, 6-7 years. And to me, that's the real indication of a good team. Winning a tournament, there are a lot of variables in it. You have to get lucky. You got to catch a break. But this is a beast of a baseball conference on the front end. And then you look at what Southwestern's building with J.C. Bunch, and then Dallas with the hire. I mean, it's such a better league than we get credit for. But in Division III athletics, in baseball, this thing shifts to the Northeast, Ohio, Wisconsin, and a ton of teams get at-large bids that shouldn't. The other thing that we're a huge detriment for us is our conference tournament format. You got America Southwest Conference where they play essentially two types of postseason tournaments, and they're able to, load their schedule and get 3 teams in last year. I'm not sure we lost to an America Southwest team last year, and yet they got 3 teams into the tournament. That's really frustrating.
And Rafe, we'll close out things with you. As you look ahead to this season, this 2019 version of the Trinity Tiger baseball team, what are some of the goals this group has? What have some of those discussions looked like with your teammates?
The ultimate goal is to win a national championship. I don't like to compare ourselves to that team in 2016 that won the national championship because most of those guys are gone. We're a completely different team, and if we do win it, we're going to win it in a completely different way. With that being said, we do have our seniors this year. We're freshmen that year, and so they know what it's like. They know what it looks like to see a winning team, and so just follow those guys' guidance and hopefully lead some of the younger guys and hoist the trophy at the end of the year.
And finally, Coach, to wrap things up with you, for the fans, the people that are going to come out and support, family, friends, that will be a part of this Trinity baseball season this year, what can they expect to see from this team in terms of things you hope really become characteristics and identity of this group, regardless of the result, that people can just count on night in, night out with this baseball team?
Yeah, I think, hopefully it grows into attitude. I'd love to see us be tougher mentally. I'd love to see us be tougher physically. I'd love to see the top players emerge and perform with the want and desire to put people on their shoulders a little bit more. Again, in the end, if anyone's going to win anything, conference or anything beyond that, it's going to come down to your top players literally performing above their ability, not just to their ability. So we got a long way to go. And hopefully daily we're just getting tougher mentally, tougher physically, and more competitive.
The Trinity University baseball team, again, the Tigers will be led heading into the season, once again by head coach Tim Scannell, along with junior outfielder Rafe Chaumette. The Tigers will open up the season Saturday, February 9th, when they take on Cortland. Coach, Rafe, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck as you head into the year.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.